Welcome back to another module in the APMC. Once again, I'm your host, Ibby Taylor, and today we're going to look at time management for the exam preparation. Now, we all know that time management is super crucial across the whole of project management, but it's also just as important to use when being prepared for your exam. So, time management is a critical skill, not only for project managers, but for anyone pursuing professional goals, including success in rigorous certification exams. Exam preparation can be daunting, particularly with multiple responsibilities competing for your time. The ability to manage your time effectively during your study is the ultimate differentiator between a well-prepared candidate and one who struggles to cover the syllabus. Now, everyone has busy lives. You might have families, obviously full-time jobs. You might be struggling to find the time, but it's important that you use your time management effectively and make sure that you are managing your time, you're not overloaded, and you're able to give this preparation exactly what it needs. So, understanding and categorizing your time. The first step in effective time management is recognizing the available time that you have. Categorize it for optimal use. Take an inventory, conduct an audit of your daily routine, identify how much time you can spare for exam preparation. So, use a time tracking app. Understand how you spend your hours during a typical week. This will help you cut down on non-productive activities like excessive screen time. Find out where you can make changes in life. Find out what you can use to supplement your exam preparation. Core hours. Identify when your energy and focus are at the peak. Allocate these for complex topics. If you work best in the early morning, dedicate that time to studying difficult areas like risk management. And buffer time. Include buffer periods for unforeseen disruptions or revisions to keep your plan realistic. Reserve 2 extra hours each week for unanticipated workload or additional study needs. Perfect ideas to make sure that your time is put to its best use. So, prioritization and goal setting. Now, time management becomes meaningful only when preparation priorities are clearly defined. So, key topics first. Focus on the high priority areas or topics with greater weight in the exam. So, study exam areas like executing and monitoring, which carry more weight in PMP, before addressing minor sections. So we touched on this before. Look at how big of a chunk each exam is within the topic. The more weight, the more of your time should be going towards it. Create SMART goals. Now, we've probably all heard SMART quite a lot. Create goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-based, or time-bound in this instance. So define a goal such as complete 3 chapters of PMBOK guide and attempt 40 practice questions by the end of the week. It's specific, it's measurable, it's achievable, it's relevant to what you're doing, and it has the time-based element to it by the end of the week. Perfect. And then break down larger objectives into smaller daily tasks, just the same as running a project. Break things down into tasks that are easily manageable and achievable. So if stakeholder engagement spans 5 hours of study, schedule 1 hour per day over 5 days to maintain focus and avoid burnout. So techniques for effective scheduling. An efficient schedule forms the backbone of time management. The idea is to utilize strategic techniques that ensure productivity and learning quality. So the Pomodoro technique is one that can be used. So work in intervals. Normally 25 minutes followed by a short break, which is normally 5 minutes. So it's a 25-5. Be productive for 25 minutes and then 5 minutes rest, so you don't burn out and you don't overload yourself. Or the 80-20 rule. Focus on 20% of the topics that yield 80% of the results. So the areas that are most crucial for passing the exam. So spend a disproportionate amount of time mastering project planning, a domain that forms a large part of the test. So look at what you can use the least amount of time for the maximum yield. Time blocking. Allocate specific time blocks to topics or activities. Dedicate Saturday mornings, for example, to mock exams and weekday evenings to revision for consistent progress. Obviously, this is all going to be dependent on your life, on the balance that you have, on the time that you have available. But use these tricks, these hints, to formulate your own effective schedule that works for you. So improve your focus and your efficiency. So manage distractions and stay motivated. That's key to maximizing study hours. Task segmentation is a big one. Break large study assignments into smaller tasks that are more digestible and easier to focus on. So treat one PMP process group, such as initiating, as a task for one study session, rather than trying to learn multiple groups at once. Make it achievable. Don't overburden yourself, because that'll then create negativity within yourself that it's not achievable, it's too much. Instead, give yourself smaller, easy, digestible tasks. Minimize distractions. Create a dedicated study space with minimal interruptions or distractions. Turn off your social media notifications. Use a productivity app like Forest to stay focused. Block out the noise. Focus. Give your entire focus to this, as that's going to give you the best chance of success. And then energy management. Align your study sessions with your energy levels. Scheduling easier tasks for when you feel tired and challenging ones for when you're most alert. Obviously, we all work in peaks and troughs. You know, some people will wake up and peak in the early morning. Other people won't peak until late morning, some in the afternoon, and then have a second peak at some point in the evening. It's key to understand when those peaks are, when you are at your best, as that's the time you need to be using for the more complex things and the ones that you need to focus on the most. And that's going to be defined by you. When you do the practice tests, the practice exams, look at what you need to work on and put those into your key productivity hours. Monitor progress and adjust your needs. Now, an effective strategy requires regular updates based on performance and requirements. So have frequent check-ins, assess your progress weekly, evaluate if you're still on track. If not, you can make changes. So compare your planned study schedule to your completed tasks at the end of the week. Is it manageable? Is it achievable? Have flexibility for improvement. Reallocate time to weaker areas without derailing the overall timeline. So if a mock test results show low scores in risk mitigation, add additional study sessions dedicated to that topic. And celebrate milestones. Acknowledge small accomplishments to stay motivated. Treat yourself to a break or a small reward after completing 10 chapters of study. You know, make sure that you still have something to keep you going. Obviously, the ultimate goal is passing the exam. That's what we're all trying to do. That's the ultimate goal that's going to keep us all going. But even within that, to get to that point, it is still going to be a hard road. So give yourself something to look forward to. Even if it's a chocolate bar after you've done 10 chapters. You know, I'm more partial to a burger. I might treat myself to one of those after 10 chapters of study. But make sure that you have something to look forward to in your day. Now, we'll do one of these applications, then you can have a look at the rest. So, an IT professional balancing work and study. Use time blocking strategies to allocate 3 evenings a week for exam preparation. And they use productivity apps like Google Calendar and Trello. Help them manage their time, but also manage their task load and make it specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-based. Smart goals. Have a look through the rest of these application examples and give thought to how these techniques and these strategies are ensuring success. Once you've gone over these, you will have the summary tables. Check your own understanding with these summary tables, these brief tidbits of key information. Have a look through and make sure that this aligns with what you've just learned. Because then afterwards, you'll have the practice questions. Give these a go. Check your own understanding. Anything that you fall short on, by all means, come back and rewatch this. Read the study material again. If there's anything that you need to improve on, have a look and focus in. And use your time management in order to do it. Practice the very things that are going to give you success in the exam at the end of this. And of course, if there are still outstanding questions, queries, or issues that doesn't solve, reach out to us, because we are here to support you every step of the way. I'm your host, Ibby Taylor, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you.